What we do here is go back. What we do here is go back.
Hopefully, all things being considered, that should be working. Okay, hopefully that's working. If it is, good evening. If it's not, well, you'll never know. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It's the Saturday night live stream. It is currently 21:03, which isn't bad. And what's Siri doing now? Go away. Stop it. Oh, damn you. It's Saturday the 23rd of November 2019. How you doing, everybody? It's Saturday night. Thanks for joining with us if you're in. Quick hello to some of you in the chat. So we have currently got, we got Joe, who's in the chat. We've got the British Gamer. We've got ClickTech UK. We've got F7GOS. Oh, he was enjoying the beats. My apologies, you can't download them. It is a YouTube freebie. So how is everybody doing? British Gamer says, if this is the whole stream, then I'm going to be a bit pissed. I could have left it on, that would have been pretty awesome. So hopefully some of you have been watching the stream earlier on today where I made an absolute balls up of the unboxing and setup of the Vision HM241 home CCTV hard drive NVR kit. That's pretty much a mouthful. Sorry, right, I gotta have a beer. This has been a long day today, so hopefully you guys are going to join me for a drink of something tonight. So hopefully some of you already have, and that'll make this a lot more bearable for all of us. So, cheers everybody. Hope you're having a great start of the evening. British Gamer says, how you doing, Mike? I'm knackered. I am absolutely knackered. It's been a long day. Did that stream earlier for about an hour. Since then I've been editing videos and watching a little bit of The Mandalorian. So I'm not going to spoil that for those of you that aren't caught up with that yet. But yeah, not a bad day at all really. And actually thanks to you guys that are watching and all the other people that catch up later on. This week actually has seen a pretty big upturn in Mike's unboxing reviews and how-to. Our subscribers have gone up. We're getting about 1,100 subscribers a month at the moment, which is pretty phenomenal to be fair. There's some channels which are considerably bigger and considerably better that are getting kind of those kind of figures with 60, 70, 100k subs. So hopefully this channel's growing and hopefully you're all along for the ride and enjoying the content that we produce. Are you enjoying it? Is it fun? Are you enjoying this stuff? I know I do some pretty eclectic stuff, everything from keyboards to car stuff to AirPods obviously. Trying to tick a lot of boxes, and I don't think we've really got a niche as such. We don't really fit in a particular category. It's not PC tech, it's not headphones, it's not cars, it's not home DIY. It's kind of a bit of everything, which is kind of what I think that most people watching this are actually doing. So you don't just spend your entire life on a computer, you don't spend your entire life listening to music, you don't spend your entire life in your car. We all do a bit of everything, so hopefully the content that we do is interesting for you, and if it's not, well, you can blame Kath. We've got some newbies in the house tonight, so we've got Glenn Halfway. Glenn says, hi Kath and Mike, I'm here, have a good one. Thank you Glenn, hopefully you're having a drink with us. Captain Meets Adventures is back and says, The Mandalorian is boss. It is actually, we'll have a little bit of a discussion about it a little bit later because I'll be interested to see what people think of it. It's you can tell who produces it, you can tell who kind of has written it. There's a lot of telltale signs to it. I think The Mandalorian's going to do really well. Joe says, oh, he's having a coffee. I've got to be honest with you, I'm probably going to switch to tea or coffee later because I am absolutely beat. What a day. Lovely, lovely. So what have we been doing this week? Well, you probably know this already because most of you have probably seen the videos already. But we did we had a new kind of sponsor or collaboration with eardots.co with their weird lifetime warranty for the AirPods, which are these ones here, the eardots. Basically their whole premise is they don't give you lots of different part numbers, lots of different models. Literally whatever's the best on the market is what you get. You pay one price and you get a lifetime warranty. So if you lose them, you drop them, they get stolen. Basically, if they stop working, they'll replace them. You just pay a slight restocking fee for postage and all that kind of stuff, and you get a new pair. I honestly don't know how long that can go on for. That is pretty insane, if you ask me. These normally retail anywhere between sort of £50 to £70 in the UK. So to pay kind of £70, which is like the upper end of that price market, and then still get a free pair every now and then if you break them or lose them or drop them or get stolen or whatever, seems like a pretty incredible deal. So if you haven't already, check out eardots.co. It's a weird website actually, .co. Normally it's .co.uk or .com, but they're .co, so eardots.co. And yeah, if you go there, have a chat with them, tell them I sent you. I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think you get any cheaper or anything, but we're working on a giveaway actually, so they are going to, yeah, we're going to work a bit closer with them. So towards Christmas time, we're going to be doing some serious giveaways. So if you're in the market for a set of AirPod clones for Christmas or for kind of New Year it might be because of postage and what have you, definitely stay tuned. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button down there, click on the chime button, all that kind of good stuff, and help the sponsors, help the people that help us. So go to them, visit their site, shop with them if you can. The same goes for all the companies that we work with. So you got Nokia's, you got Spinning Deal, airdots.co, various others, Freezer, Arctic Cooling, all those kinds of people. Help them out because they're helping us out, and in turn I can help you guys out. So yeah, make the most of our sponsors. But anyway, so we've had a look at them this week. We had a look at the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2, which I can't actually show you because it was in the PC behind me, but we've had a bit of a swap around, and if you've kept up to date with the videos, you'll probably know more about that than I can actually remember now, because it's all kind of merging into one. Oh, Kath says, I don't think we've released that video yet, so maybe kind of spoiler alerts there. But essentially, we've had a swap around. I still haven't got to the end, or got to the result of what is causing my motherboard in the background. There's a little click I can hear every now and then in the speakers, and I thought it might have been the power supply, so I've swapped the case, swapped the power supply and all that kind of stuff, and I still got it. So it looks like the motherboard is kaput, so looks like we might be changing that soon, but anyway, you don't need to know that. But anyway, the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 240mm, if you're looking for an AIO cooler for your PC, definitely worth looking at. It's really good, really quiet, works really well, and the little built-in VRM coolers, which is unique to Cooler Master, Freudian slip, which is unique to Arctic, is brilliant and much better than the Cooler Master version, which is what I was kind of alluding to before I said the name wrong. Sorry, Arctic, if you're watching, I do apologise. Joe says, have you played Fallen Order, Mike? I haven't yet, no. Looking forward to playing that, it looks pretty good. Captain Meets Adventure says, lol. No, he didn't, he says. Beers kicked in. How stupid are Disney not realising Disney Plus, or not releasing Disney Plus in the UK? Holland got it. That is the show that sells the service. Yeah, the DeLorean. Oh my God, I'm having a bad night already. The DeLorean. It's close. Aletta's in the house. Good evening, Aletta.
Kev says, what about if you accidentally give them away for a lifetime guarantee?
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah, that's a point. Angry Dodge says, hi Mike, I bought this TC Sunbow 480 gig SSD you said about. Nice one. That is a fantastic deal. And we were having a discussion earlier on our Discord, which if you're not a member, you can join our Discord. Links will be in the video description, or Kath will paste them in a minute. But we're having a discussion today about building a budget PC and how it's actually becoming more and more difficult. Now prices are getting so good, it's really difficult to work out what parts to get. And if you're on a really tight budget, and I mean kind of like buying parts individually and kind of building up the system slowly, it's really hard to work out when is a good time to pounce on the prices, especially with things like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas sales, then you've got the kind of New Year sales, Boxing Day sales. From essentially now until kind of the first week of January, it's just sell, everything. You don't know what's going down in price, you don't know what's going up in price, so it really is a crapshoot out there, which is an American term, I think. Anyway, if you're not sure and you're shopping on Amazon, use camel.com. You can put in the link, just copy and paste it into camel, and you can look at the prices, and it gives you a bar graph so you can see what the cheapest price is, what the average price is, and it basically tells you if you're getting a good deal or if it's at a good price. Now obviously if the prices are going to lower dramatically after the point, they can't tell the future. They're not time travelers, they haven't got a DeLorean or a Mandalorian to time travel, so you're taking that risk yourself, but at least you can get a good idea whether or not you're getting the best price at the time based on previous sales history. So hopefully that's going to help some of you. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. Hopefully that answers the question. Angry Dodge also says, when is the Windows keys giveaway? Now that's actually something we're going to get onto in a minute, because one of the kind of, not a silent partner, but somebody who really helps out the channel is donated a key and wanted us to give it away. Now there's been a weird thing in the last kind of 2 weeks where there's been a whole bunch of Microsoft keys which have been sold off on the kind of the OEM market and the retail stroke OEM market, which have now been flagged as being disabled essentially. So a lot of manufacturers now and a lot of sellers and all those kinds of stuff, if you go to any of the sellers at the moment, you'll notice that all of them, the prices have jumped up. Now the reason behind that is because one of the big distributors who bought an absolute ton of keys and then resells them to all the other stores like Premium CD Keys, cdkeys.com, all those kind of places, they sold a load of keys that they weren't meant to. So loads of keys have been retracted, there's been all sorts of problems. Luckily, one of our viewers, Skystalker, who actually has bought some keys and has reported back saying that Premium CD Keys have been fantastic. He actually sent me an email, hopefully he doesn't mind me mentioning it, but bit late now because I am anyway. He had a problem with one of the keys that he purchased, which seems to have been one of those keys which has been retracted. When he tried to activate it, it said that the key was in use, and very, very quickly through email support, they basically sorted out the problem, provided a brand new key, and everything is absolutely fine. So that has just proven to me that I was actually right in kind of backing Premium CD keys, although they're a newish company, just starting out in this market. It's turned out they've done a really good job. They've helped out people, they've put the customer first, and they've sorted out things. They've not kind of just shuttered up the shop and said, no, that's it, let's walk away from this. They've actually dug in, sorted out the problems, rectified the issues, and they keep on going strong. So all I can say is thank you to Skystalker for using them, first of all, and thank you to Premium CD Keys for obviously helping us with the channel and supporting us and working with us, and hopefully it will carry on. And I did actually have a contact with them today, anonymously, can't even say it. I put a chat in today because I noticed that the keys have gone up across the board, all of them. Premium CD Keys, CDK, what's the other one? There's loads of other key sites. If you check them, all of them have gone up in price. Most of them have doubled. So luckily, Premium CD Keys were at a very low price to start with, which was about £3 in the UK. And they're just under £6 now for a Windows 10 professional key, which again is double the price, but it's still a massive saving on the kind of £80 to £90 you would normally spend. So for those of you that are buying keys or building systems and looking to put OEM software on or retail keys, you are going to be paying a little bit more at the moment. So it's just one of those things. Microsoft have pulled the plug on a load of keys, so the prices have incurred. Mostly it's because of people have obviously paid money for keys. They haven't received the keys, so they've had to buy the keys again. So obviously those costs are carried on to the end user, which is you and me. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So yeah, to answer your question, the CD keys giveaway is something we're still definitely going to do. We have got them. I'm just a little bit concerned at the moment that the keys or key that we've got, or some of the keys that we've got, may actually be part of that batch which have been retracted. So I don't want to do a giveaway just yet, just in case obviously there is any problems, and then I don't want there to be any bad feeling, any bad blood, and I don't actually want the extra hassle. So I'd rather make sure the keys are all completely legitimate and will activate straight away before we do that. Hopefully you guys can understand that and appreciate where we're coming from. It's not that I'm trying to not give them away, it's just I don't want to do it and for it to be kind of done in a bad light, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Let me know, am I making sense? British Gamer says, oh, I need a Windows key. I hate my watermark. Yeah, the watermarks in Windows. I watched a video today from a popular YouTuber who was doing a repair on a system with some malware and stuff. And in the bottom corner, I did notice the please activate Windows watermark. And I thought to myself, for someone who promotes Windows keys, that's pretty special. But anyway, we'll move on from that. So what other questions have we got here? British Gamer says, what do you think of the Razer Kraken Pro V2? I've got to be honest with you, I don't know. I've not actually used it personally. I've seen reviews and it comes out very favourably. So it seems like a good choice. And if you've got the money and you're into the Razer ecosystem, then hey, why not? Go for it. Oh, there's a good one. Captain Meets Adventures. Has anyone seen the trailer for the new Half-Life game? So this is the new Half-Life VR experience called Alex, which is based on one of the characters from the Half-Life, I think it was episode 2, where Alex was first introduced. She is kind of somebody who helped Gordon. Is it Gordon? Gordon. Yes, it is Gordon, isn't it? It's been so long. She was one of the assistants who helped in the game, and it's based on her experience from where we left off in Half-Life 2 episode 3 and going on into the future. So hopefully that means we might actually see, please let it be true, we might actually eventually see a Half-Life 3, which would be amazing. But you know what I mean. That'd be good. So yeah, it's a VR experience essentially, so it's not going to be for everyone, especially if you haven't got VR goggles and all that kind of stuff, but it's a step in the right direction and hopefully they follow through. Right, what else have we looked at this week? So this week we've also looked at how to fix the Windows update errors. Is anyone updated to Windows 1909? Have you all done it yet? Have you found any problems? I've got to be honest with you, 1909's been absolutely fine. It was such a small update, or at least it seemed a small update. Went in first time, I haven't had any issues, and touch wood, all the systems in the Mike's Unboxing family, or on this one, have been absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. So actually be interested to see if any of you guys had problems with Windows Update 1909. I did have an update problem where it wouldn't update, but we'll fix that in the video, and then I made a video to show you guys if you were suffering from it also. Let's see, Joe's just said, yeah, literally just check the ones I know, and most of them are averaging around about £27 for Windows 10 Professional, which is a lot of money, £27, let's be fair. PremiumCDKeys.com, you can go there in a moment. There's a 7% off offer, and also if you use the discount code MU5 or Mike's Unboxing, you can get an additional 5% off, so you can still get a reasonably priced key. Glenn Hoffaway says, yes, sat here not understanding a thing Mike is talking about. The only key I've got is stuck in my front door. Sorry? Oh, I suppose I should explain to the other people watching. Glenn is somebody we used to work with. He is a ex-red coat or blue coat or yellow coat, or basically he had a coat of some colour.
Did he wear a coat?
And worked in holiday camps, I think I'm right in saying, and was like a compere and did a few comedy skits, a bit of singing, a bit of dancing, a bit of entertainment, all that sort of stuff. And we worked with him at the BBC. He was also featured as a paramedic at times on the BBC Casualty programme. And we've known him from there, and he's a fantastic guy, and we're trying to sort him out with a new PC, which we're in the works of doing. So say hello to Glenn, everybody. Make him feel welcome. He's a great guy. One of the good people, definitely. So sorry, I've gone too far now. Where am I going? British Gamer. F7GOS says 99's been running peachy on my systems too. That is awesome. I think most people have found that 1909 has been the sweet spot for updating Windows. Letter says updated to 1909, not a single problem. Isn't it so nice that a Windows update, which is effectively quite a large update but in a small package, is actually gone so smoothly? It's unusual. Captain Meets Adventure says, I hope they will port the Half-Life to a PC or console. I think Half-Life pretty much is on every version of it so far is on PC, but yeah, they need to get it out. They need Half-Life 3. I need something new to get my teeth into. Angry Dodge says, at Mike's Unboxing, where do they get the Windows keys from? So essentially Microsoft themselves officially don't sell OEM keys, so they only sell retail box versions in their store, online and in retail stores. So what they do is they have a distribution network throughout the world, larger players. I think one of them is VLSI in the kind of European area, which stands for Very Large Systems Integrator, and they will sell a bulk of keys, maybe 10,000 keys to them, and then VLSI will then, as a distributor for Microsoft, will then sell off bulks of keys. So one company like PremiumCDKeys.com, for instance, or yeah, .com, they'll buy maybe 1,000 keys or 100 keys in a bundle, and then obviously it goes through and it works out. So you've got the main Microsoft, then you've got a global distributor, regional distributor, then you've got websites, online boutiques, all those kinds of stuff. So they get passed on from place to place. And every now and then you get a problem where somebody in that chain is sold a batch twice. It does happen. It has happened previously on numerous occasions. Every now and then keys get revoked, or a certain volume license key will get put out by mistake or intentionally, you never know. And then that key will get retracted, and then everyone who spent money is claiming a new key, so that puts price pressure on the distributor, so they put their prices up, and then it goes down the line. So hopefully that explains it slightly for you. Glenn says every now and then my key is pixelating but still looking good. That is me, I'm just pixelated. Jesus in the house, Jesus or Jesus. Is it Jesus or Jesus? Alfonso. Anyway, how you doing, buddy? Glenn says the new one is VR only. I think it possibly is. I think it's because there's... am I right in thinking that either Facebook or Vive or Volve, there was some link where they owned part of each other's company, so they're trying to push VR. It hasn't taken off particularly well, so by releasing a massive game based on the Half-Life engine, which everyone was supposedly going to be into, will increase sales. So I think that is what it's all about. I'm pretty sure that is what it is. Pixel Byte's in the house. Good evening, Pixel Byte. British Gamer needs to go. God bless you. There is Glenn says, cheers Mikey, I was a green coat. Thank you for your welcome and your stream. You and Kath are great people yourselves. Well, bless you, and we'll send you the money later.
What's the story with the coats? Is it different places?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the questions done. So what else have we done? Oh, we looked at installing the SSD in the Acer 5, and actually, after my initial unboxing, you know, I was a bit pissed off with PC World on this one, and kind of it wasn't a great experience. But having said that, in use and carrying on with it, doing the upgrades, it's actually been pretty much flawless. I really cannot fault it. So if you are looking for a kind of cost-effective, low-end gaming laptop, which is also good for a bit of business use and has got a nice keyboard, the Acer Aspire 5 is actually pretty decent. Although saying that, there's a lot of competition at the moment with Lenovo. There's a Lenovo model which is almost identical. It's about £50 cheaper at the moment, the same spec, which I'm a bit like, damn it, buyer's remorse, but still for £50 I'm pretty happy. And there's a Lenovo version with a 17-inch screen and a Ryzen 7 and a 500 gigabyte drive, terabyte, gigabyte, yeah, 500 gigabyte drive, and it's about £100 dearer. So in hindsight, I would have kind of liked that for the extra size and the power, but anyway, whatever. Glenn says, take it off my bill, matey. I will do. I will do. Leto says, I have no interest in VR. I'm not completely sold on RR. real reality. Yeah, I know the feeling there. This flat earth is getting the better of us sometimes. Joe says, agree. The trend of VR is definitely dying out and lots of companies are trying to revive it with their own spin. I've got to be honest with you, I've tried VR in a very, very limited way, and that is one of those kind of cardboard things that Google did to start with, or Android did, where you put your phone in and you get that kind of pseudo 3D experience. And actually, I didn't think much of it then, and I honestly can't think that spending a shit ton of money on a set of goggles is going to make things any better. It's a really, really difficult thing to get right, VR, because you have to have so many variables right. Refresh rate, flicker, all those kinds of things, so you don't feel sick. And also then you need very, very good latency. Otherwise you get that kind of delay, and that's really off-putting as well.
I might look better through them.
Kath says she might look better through VR. Now that's the only thing that I think, actually, caution to those of you under 18 at the moment, things may get explicit, so you have been warned. If they did VR in pornography, then it would take off. Always, always, whatever is going on in pornography is what the mass market goes along with. So back in the old days, you had the VHS and Betamax war, and that was essentially won by VHS because Sony and the owners of the Betamax copyright prohibited pornography being distributed on Betamax tapes. That was the thing. So if anybody wanted to distribute pornography, they would have to do it on VHS. So obviously people of that era in the early 80s, their dad had a sock cupboard, and in the sock cupboard was a VHS tape. and basically that is why VHS won the war. Sony was technically the better system with better refresh rate, better pixelation or lines on the screen, so like resolution wise, Sony was the winner. On paper, Sony was the market leader, but VHS won purely because of pornography. That may well be an old wives' tale, but I like it and I'm going with it. Joe says 500 terabyte drive. Oh, Mike. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do apologise. It's been a long day. Joe says, speaking of which, me and my friends are going to this VR place tomorrow with actual gun models and elevators. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Captain Meets Adventures bought a Google VR headset. It's gone with my 3D TV glasses in the bin. Letter says, things got explicit the moment I arrived here. Glenn says, how do I get one? And do they have to have wipers installed? Ah, dear lordy. And actually, going back to the pornography side of things, pornography actually has an underlying theme in pretty much everything now in technology. So even from the old VHS versus Betamax, with PCs now, pornography obviously is a massive, massive industry and generates billions and billions of pounds of revenue and all that kind of stuff. But obviously with that, there is also copying of material and streaming and all that kind of stuff. So then you get porno sites, which then make your PC crash and all those kinds of stuff. It's just, yeah. It's one of those things, it's like a drug for a lot of people. They need to have their pornography and they don't care how they get it. So that is what wins the war at the end of the day. So things like Brave, the new browser, if any of you have checked out, Brave is kind of like a really secure browser, which essentially is designed for security and pornography, essentially. It's probably, a lot of it has probably come around because of people wanting to watch porn and not get all the pop-ups and all the viruses and all that. So it's like, oh, right, what can we do? Let's build a browser which is designed for doing that, but we'll say it's like for security reasons. You watch Brave, Brave will take off, I guarantee it. F7GOS says they already do that in VR. Is that a smiley face? I can't see, it's too small.
No, it's a blank face.
It's a blank face, okay.
Eyes.
Oh dear. Right. So what else have we done this week? So also we had a look at the Be Quiet Pure Base 500 PC build and the case. What do you think about that actually? It'd be interesting to see what your feedback is. I really liked it. That's my first Be Quiet case. I've got a Be Quiet power supply. Well, I haven't anymore because actually I've used it and built it into Glenn's PC, but don't tell him because it's a secret. Bit late because he's probably in the room. Anyway. And actually going back to that, Glenn's PC, we've had a complete rework. So I don't think, which order of the video's gone out? I don't think that's gone out yet, has it? Has it gone out? Glenn's PC build? Yeah, we did the live stream. So yeah, last Saturday we did the live stream where we did the PC build. Midweek, this week, I changed the build again to try and keep it within the budget that we were at. So I took some stuff out, put some stuff in, and then I got to myself and I'm thinking, this doesn't really work for me. It fits to the budget, but I don't think it's quite powerful enough. So then we've rewritten the rulebook, swapped a load of things around again, and ended up taking out power supplies, motherboards, all sorts of things, and we basically reconfigured it. So I haven't spoken to Glenn about it yet, so I'm going to send him the details of this later, so you can see if it works for you price-wise and all that sort of stuff. But it's all good. It's all good. Bills and Coins says, hey Mike, thanks for the motherboard reviews. They're really helpful. Oh, they are really helpful. Well, thank you very much. Aletta says, watching X movies when you're horny is like watching the Food Channel when you're hungry. It makes no sense to me.
Talking of hungry, our cat's addicted to Doritos.
Yeah, talking of hungry, our cats are currently addicted to Doritos. Skystalker's in the house. Sorry I'm late. No problem, that is what DVR is for. You can rewatch the bits you've missed. To be honest with you, haven't really missed much apart from us talking about pornography, the Betamax versus VHS battle, and windscreen wipers on a PC. Joe says, looking at your Social Blade, your channel's looking good. Oh, thank you very much. I've got to be honest with you, Kath does look on Social Blade almost daily, don't you? And to see what's going on and see how things are looking. And when are we when are we looking to hit 20k? Is it the first? No, February, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we're looking at hitting 20k subs in February of next year, which is pretty insane, really, considering that I'm some old fart sat here in my living room pretending to be in a studio. So we're doing pretty well.
No, 2nd of the 12th. No, yeah, February.
Yeah, so yeah, 20k in February. Now I did kind of, in the back of my mind, I was really, really hoping to hit 20k subs by January, which our target to be kind of on track of where the channel's heading, we should have hit 17k in January.
We will. We
but
should hit in.
we've actually, well, we're a stone's throw away from 17 at the moment, and I kind of secretly wanted to beat that anyway. So to get to 20k by February would be absolutely amazing. Pixelbite says, Mike, have you installed a power cord cable on a mouse? I've got to be honest with you, I haven't. I don't spend enough time gaming, and to be completely honest with you, actually a lot of the gaming I do now is on a controller, sadly to say, so I don't really have the necessity for a power cord on a mouse. I've wanted to try one, maybe if there's any of our kind of collaborators or anything watching this and they're listening and they've got one, if they want to send it to me, I will certainly give it a try. Skystalker says, I missed porno, damn! Let's us talking about our love life again. The case I fell in love with is the Lanley Landcool 2. It's awesome. Well, the same goes for Lanley. If anyone from Lanley is watching and they want to send me a case for a review, I'll put the address in the description below so you can send it to me. Glenn says, don't worry about the tech stuff. Has it got full speed wipers? Full speed wipers ahead. Now that goes back to a joke that me and Glenn had a long time ago, because obviously gentlemen of a well, not even gentlemen of a certain type, people watch or look at pornography, and we had a joke about it was Christmas and Glenn had had a few drinks and we were kind of, the conversation was kind of going back and forward, but it wasn't quite meeting in the middle, and he wished us merry blades of Santa or something. And we kind of concocted that to be, I think if I remember rightly, it's quite hazy, but the long run of it was if you're watching pornography, it's probably a good idea to have windscreen wipers on your monitor for some reason or other. So yeah, the wiper blades thing has always come across now. I don't know why. It's a bit bizarre if you think about it, but yeah. I suppose if you look at 18 plus films and things that adults do, windscreen wipers might not be such a bad idea. Oh dear. Right, let's get back into the real world. Bits and Coins says, I'm thinking of building a PC. What AMD CPU do you think goes best with the 1070? I'm planning on using a 2700X, but I'm open to suggestions. Well, I've actually got a 1070 in my video editing PC, which is currently running a Ryzen 5 3600. And previously to that, I had a Ryzen 7 1700X, and both of them perform roughly about the same. And I would say, if anything, in most games, the 1070 could probably handle a slightly slower processor in some of these more GPU-bound games, but it's nice to have that little bit of horsepower in reserve. So, yeah, I would say really value for money-wise, if you're going with a 1070, Ryzen 5 2600, Ryzen 5 3600, or a 2700 or 2700X would be absolutely fine. Joe says, if you want to hit 20k in the next 3 days, just post you and Kath dressed as Spider-Man and Elsa.
Oh, is Elsa Frozen?
Yeah, Elsa's from Frozen. Is that right? I'm guessing it is.
We're too old.
Spider-Man?
You could get built-in abs in a suit.
I might have to buy a suit. I'll do that.
With built-in abs.
Built-in abs. Mr. Mike, you don't feel in the cable on the mouse. Seriously good. I never actually. Oh, Pixelbyte says, by the way, if you remember, I'm Panos. Yeah, I remember Panos. You crazy man. Skystalk says, as I said, the Be Quiet Pure Base 500 is fine. The 600 looks much better. Yeah, that is actually funny you should say that. We were having a discussion today with one of the newbies on the channel, which was Angry Dodge. And he's actually in the chat, I think, at the moment. And we're talking about building a PC and things to go for. And he was saying that we want to go with the Masterbox 511 case. And there was an option for it to be with extra fans, which are RGB, for about £20 more. And there was the option of buying the case plain with a couple of fans and then buying some Arctic cooling fans to go with it as a bundle. And because he said he wasn't particularly bothered about RGB, so he'd quite happily buy the kind of vanilla case and then add the fans to it. So we were suggesting some other cases, which were possibilities to try and squeeze the budget down on the case side of things to put more money for the graphics card and maybe some RAM, that kind of stuff. And we were throwing some other options up for cases, and we come to the conclusion that with most PC builds, once you've actually kind of fixed on the case, the rest of it actually falls into line with what the case will do or what it will fit or what it will look like. So it's becoming that PC building now is becoming more of a kind of a style or design or aesthetics kind of thing, more so than it is trying to squeeze as much power as possible out of components you're buying, which in the last probably 5 to 10 years, that has become more and more evident. It used to be you would buy the fastest CPU you could, a reasonable motherboard, graphics cards probably weren't so much of a thing back then, and the case was kind of like an afterthought, and the power supply pretty much was an afterthought. Whereas now really, the case and the power supply almost dictate the budget for the rest of the build. I don't know if you guys and girls agree with that or not. Just something that kind of is becoming more and more apparent, where we're more focused on what the PC actually looks like and what is actually powering it, rather than what is physically inside it, which is kind of an interesting concept if you think about it. So yeah, guys are all saying. Skystalker says, yeah, the 3600X is a good buy. And yeah, they're talking about fans, so hopefully, yeah, it's a weird thing. It is a very weird thing. Kind of, it got to the point where years ago you'd almost put your PC in a shoebox and run it from there because you could. The case didn't really matter. And power supplies actually are becoming more and more of a thing. I actually, when I'm buying a budget power supply now, I almost feel guilty that I'm not buying a higher end power supply, when deep in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that most power supplies of a certain level are okay for the job. Like anything around about £40 and up, generally for a power supply, is going to be absolutely fine, no problems at all. When you get into the sub £30 mark, obviously you pay your money, you take your chances. If you're getting a used one or a bargain, then okay, fair enough. But really, £35, £40 for a power supply is the kind of the bare minimum you want to be looking at for most builds, even if it is for like an office build or something. More beer. Anyway, so this week coming up in videos, what we will be having, there's some videos that I've actually found stuff that I had, which I didn't even realise I hadn't reviewed yet, which I don't know if I have or not. Maybe you guys can tell me, because I honestly cannot remember. I've got these are from the spinningdeal.com. They sent me these for a review ages ago, and I was kind of going through all the boxes trying to make some space, and I found these. These are the T88s. I'm pretty sure, Kath says I haven't, but she's pretty sure that I haven't done these. So what I'm going to do, I think, in the next week or two, on the run up to Christmas, I'm going to have to start doing like a mega giveaway on a Saturday evening. So all the stuff that I've got here in boxes which I don't use or has been reviewed and has never seen the light of day since because I haven't had the time to, I'm just going to give it away to you guys. So we'll work out a way of doing that. Obviously, we're still going to do the Windows 10 giveaway keys, which I explained earlier.
Ear dots.
Yeah.
Probably.
That is going to happen. We've got an ear dots giveaway as well, so obviously stay subscribed for that. But these are an interesting concept because the TWS T88s, without spoiling the review altogether, these are kind of slightly weird looking. They're a slight take on the AirPods, which I'll show you a little bit closer. If you could, I'm not sure if the camera will even focus on that. But essentially, they will, yeah, they sound really, really good, but they don't look like AirPods. So that goes against them, but they are really good anyway. So we'll do a full review on that. We've been sent these as well. These are the new, I want to say they're AirPod Pros, but they're not. These are KP Pros from our friends over at Nokiz.com. So these are actually, these aren't available yet to buy, but they are on pre-order. So if you want to get yourself a set of AirPod Pro knockoffs, bear with me.
It's not like it's on the box, it's not open.
Oh, I haven't even got them in there.
Should I get up?
Where are they?
They're in the kitchen.
Oh, they're in the kitchen. I thought I left them on the charger somewhere. Oh, I moved the
did.
charger.
In the kitchen.
How is that? That's pretty good, isn't it? Kath, can you get me another beer, please? Thank you. Thank you, Miss Passon. Bills and Coin says, what are we drinking? This is Coors Light, which is nice.
Was.
Well, it was, yeah. Thank you. So, these are the KP Pros, or AirPod Pro clones. So they look and feel pretty much identical to the originals. The only thing is not original, or not the same. Doesn't say designed by Apple in California, made in China on the back. And also it doesn't have the squeeze tips, which is on the arms. On the Pros, they've got these squeezy bits, so you can do the calls and stuff like that, which I think is actually a really stupid idea because it's really hard to do that. So these have got tap sensors, but other than that, they work in exactly the same way. So they got the in-ear sensors and all that kind of stuff. These at the moment, $99, so that works out to be £77, I think, give or take. And those are going to be released and available in the run up to Christmas. So if you want to get some of those, check out the review, or better still, just go to the Nokiz website. So that's Nokiz.com, and you can use my discount code, I think, which is Mike5, I think, and you get another 5% off that. So again, Nokiz has been really good to us over the years. So if you go there, just say hi, say Mike sent you, and yeah, they'll look after you. But I've tried those already, I had a quick go on them. Actually pretty good. I don't know whether we actually need them, because again, I'm quite happy with the original AirPods. They sound great. The KP ones from Nokiz, the, which was the other ones? The i500s, and also the AirDots, which I don't even know what model they are. They all sound exactly the same. And when I say that, they sound really good. So what's there not to like? This is another one. This is called the A+. These are ones I definitely forgot to review. This is the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen. I can't even get them out of the box. Now this is for people with one ear. Just bear with me on this one. So inside these AirPods, or AirPod, is a single AirPod. Just one. There isn't another box. That's a USB cable in there. So I don't even know why these exist. So these are designed so you can just wear them in one ear. So essentially it's a Bluetooth earpiece, but it looks like an AirPod, and I don't understand it. Sorry, Kath says it's Mike 10 as the discount code, so that's another 5% off there.
Mike 5 at Spinning Deal.
Mike 5 at the Spinning Deal, Mike 10 at Nokiz. But can you see a reason why you would have one AirPod? Now, if you're deaf in one ear, fine, get it completely. But why on earth would you want a single AirPod on its own? Yes, it fits in a pocket nicely, but it's one AirPod. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. What the hell? Crazy ideas. But obviously people must be buying them because otherwise they won't make them. Very bizarre. So anyway, that's the AirPods and stuff we got coming up in the next couple of videos and days and weeks, and we'll be doing some giveaways. Because it's coming out to Christmas, I might even get my Santa hat on. I just noticed actually Sky Stalker has just said, hey Gav, sent Mike a comment on premium CD keys that may be helpful for future reviews. Sky Stalker, do you mind if I have actually mentioned this a little bit earlier in the stream, but if you're happy with me talking about it, I will discuss it now. Pixelbyte says, Mike, I believe you should have had more subs and viewers because your job is insane. Keep going. Hey, there we go. Aletta says, my girlfriend would like the single earbud. She's deaf in her right ear. Which ear is this? This is for the... I think this is the left one. Don't have it anymore. No, this is the right. Damn. It doesn't... They are handed, so... That's stupid, isn't it? So if anybody is deaf in their right ear, hang on.
Left ear.
Yeah, sorry. If anyone's deaf, yeah, if anyone's deaf in their left ear and wants a right ear earpod, let me know. And if you're not, if you know somebody who's deaf in their left ear, again, just email them, tell them about this, and get in touch, and I'll send you them free of charge. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Sky Stalker and Bills and Coins are both kind of saying the same thing at the moment. So he says, yes, I can talk about it, and he says about the giveaway keys. Right, so Bills and Coins and Sky Stalker. So this is to clear up this. So I talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, but I'll go over it again for those of you that have missed it, just so that everyone knows what's going on. Premium CD Keys is a company we work with, or are working with. We've got some plans for some giveaways, and we've also been donated some keys by some members of the kind of group and our Patreon subscribers and backers, that kind of stuff. So we want to do a giveaway for some keys. We are planning on doing that. We are going to do it. It's not going to be something that we've promised and we're not going to do. We are definitely going to do it. But what has happened recently, we've received an email from one of our viewers saying that they had a problem with one of their keys, and they kind of copied us in on the email to show us what was going on. Now, Microsoft, in their wisdom, have sold a bunch of keys, and it appears that some of those keys have either been retracted or sold on the wrong markets or whatever it is, but essentially those keys have been marked as void or whatever. So some people have tried to use them or have had them in use and have had the notification saying that the key is no longer genuine, or it does not work, or is in use already. So premiumcdkeys.com in this particular instance have rectified the problem, sent out a new key, done everything they can, and they've been very, very helpful to our user, and everything's been sorted out to their satisfaction, I believe. Hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn there, but I believe that is the case. So my concern is that the keys that we've already got, or that may have already been supplied, potentially could be from that batch of keys which are no longer working or legible, which is something I need to actually look at. And because I only read that email literally before I started the stream tonight, unfortunately, because it was in one of my folders which I didn't notice. So unfortunately, I've only just had this come to light. I did ask them earlier about keys, saying that the prices have gone up, and they basically said the same thing, not knowing it was me, saying yes, there's been a big thing with Microsoft and they've shook the market, so prices have almost doubled, which isn't great for us, but at least they're being upfront about it, and they're obviously sorting out problems. So long story short, we will be doing a giveaway keys. I need to validate the key and keys that we have got, that I've got in my email folders. I need to validate those with premiumcdkeys.com. We were actually planning to try and do that this evening, to do the keys, but because I haven't had time to do it, I know it sounds like a cop-out, but genuinely I have been busy. I'm not trying to hold the keys. I do want to give them away. I do want to help you guys out and be truthful to what I've said and be kind of upfront about it. But I don't want to go through the hassle of giving out a key, going to somebody and then their key not working, having to get sort of proof from them to say it isn't working, to prove they're not trying to pull a fast one, all those kinds of things. So I want to make sure the keys are 100% working and legit, and are not going to cause any one of us problems, either myself, premiumcdkeys.com, or the actual end user. So like I said earlier, hopefully you all understand that where I'm coming from, and that you will kind of bear with us on this one. So hopefully that answers your questions. And relax. British Noob is here, and he is actually a magical person and can perform magic. So hopefully that answers your questions. So yeah,
Captain Meat thinks the single AirPod is like something off Bullseye.
yeah, the Captain Me's Adventures is the single AirPod is definitely like a prize you'd win on Bullseye. Now, for those of you who don't know and are of a certain age, there was the darts program on the on ITV years ago called Bullseye, and it was in a time where there was a lot of austerity in the UK in the sort of 70s and 80s, and even probably some of the 90s. So they would give away prizes which to us now look very poor, and they would often go out. They would send their buyers out on the production to find some prizes, and they would like get a deal off someone for like 5 speedboats, which, being the program was set in the kind of almost the Midlands or slightly north, and most of the people who live in the Midlands haven't got any water around them for miles, the use of a speedboat, especially in the UK where it's mostly raining all the time, a speedboat is absolutely pointless. So that is what they mean by the single AirPod as being like the equivalent of a Bullseye prize. It really isn't a great thing. Skystalker is saying that they were awesome, Mike. Hopefully that refers to premiumcdkeys.com. And it's really nice. Skystalker, I have actually replied to your email. So I did actually try replying twice, but it got rejected. So hopefully you haven't blocked me, but I've sent it from another email account and it seems to have gone through okay. So I have replied to you. I do apologise for the tardiness of my reply, but I have got back to you. Yeah, so that's it. Whew. Alexa says, make sure you connect your Windows key to your Microsoft account and not your motherboard. That way, when you get a motherboard, you have a better chance of keeping the key. Then yes, that is correct. So if I would always suggest that. Now actually that's one thing I was doing when I'm doing Glenn's PC at the moment. I'm in the stage where I've installed Windows, but I really need to set up a Microsoft account on it to add the Office key and the Windows key to his account. So should there be any problems in the future, which hopefully, touch wood, there won't be, but then we can do a reinstall and the keys will be there and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Pixelbyte says your primary system is the back. No, that's not. That is my streaming PC behind me. I've changed the case recently again. There was the Sharkoon Night Shark case, which that's been given an early reprieve. That's going to be going elsewhere. The Pure Base 500 was there very briefly, but I just like the InWin case. I know it sounds like I'm being a bit of a fanboy. I've got the InWin A1, I've got the InWin 103, which is underneath the desk, which still needs to be put into a build, and the 101C. I don't know about you guys, but let's just take a moment and look at it, shall we? Isn't that a classy case? I just love it. I really do love it. I've got my head in the way now. It does everything I need it to. It's got great cooling on the bottom, so 3 fans on the intake. You've got 2 fans on the rear, exhausting air out from the hot chassis, and another one at the back there. So you've got slightly negative pressure because you've got another fan at the top over the heatsink. I could actually turn the fan around on the back there for the rear exhaust and have that actually blowing in cold air onto the cooler and the VRMs, and possibly turn the fans around on the Arctic freezer. So then the hot air would be pushed out that way. But for me it works, it's very quiet. The fans I think look fantastic. It's a lovely case, I really love it. Pixbyte says, wow, nice, you are AMD fanboy. I am. I'm an InWin fanboy, I'm an AMD fanboy. I'm a fanboy of anything that I enjoy. And if I like it and I've used it and I think it's good, hell yes, I'll be a fanboy. And I think I've actually chosen the right side being an AMD fanboy, because at the moment, as we've all seen, the tide's turning. The new AMD processor essentially kills Intel's product line completely, and AMD are just going from strength to strength. And I don't know if you've seen it, but they have actually said that the new 4000 series processors are going to be based on an entirely new architecture. And already from early kind of results, it looks like there's going to be a 15 to 20% IPC improvement. So that is going to take them above and beyond what Intel are offering, and possibly are going to be able to offer for a long, long time. So yeah, I think I've backed a winner there. Makes a change. Normally it's the underdog that I back, and that doesn't always work out. Double Edge says hello, good evening. Skystalker says, I want that case, the 600 is not as good.
It's not the...
Oh, what, the 500 or the...
Yeah, it's an in-win.
Aletta says, it looks great, but it's not a Lanley. I know, shut up, Aletta. I got to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that the Lanley cases are quite expensive, and I've also got way too many cases, I've got 4 cases underneath, 4 candles. I've got 4 cases, I think. 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 cases underneath my dining room table. I've got 1 over there. I've got 1 there. I've got 1 there. Kath's got 1. There's 2 in the front room. I'm starting to feel like Steve at Gamers Nexus in his old house, where he's just got cases and stuff everywhere. It's insane. I know it's first world problems and all that, but actually it is a little bit annoying having all these cases. Let's have a look. Kath says he can dance with 1 foot. Maybe he should have had 1 AirPod.
British Noob wants you to stream and dance with him.
British Noob wants me to stream and dance with him. Well, unfortunately I only do dad dancing, and I don't even do that very well.
With 1 foot.
Skystalker says, what works, works. I use both Intel and AMD. At the moment now, actually, since I've had this laptop, we are actually now an entirely AMD family here, I think. What's Angels? Angels is AMD, George is AMD, Kath's AMD, I'm AMD, that's AMD. Yeah, the Surface Pro was the only Intel CPU in the house, and now that's not really being used, so AMD all the way. Booty Yearn says, I would pay money to see Kath as Spider-Man and Mike is Elsa.
I've got an Elsa
Well,
wig at my work.
Kath, yeah, there is an Elsa wig at Kath's work, so hey, if the money's right, as oh god, the British Noob knows, I am a complete shill and will sell myself out for virtually no money whatsoever. So if you guys want to see me as Elsa,
I'm not doing
show me the money.
I'm not doing Spider-Man unless there's a mask.
Yeah, Kath says she'll do Spider-Man, but only if she can wear a mask. ClickTech UK. Hey, actually Kev did a stream tonight, so once you finish watching this abomination, pop over to Kev's channel and check out his live stream. He's got some bits he's bought for his new £600 build he's been doing. Some pretty interesting stuff there, so definitely go and check him out. And Kev, along with the rest of you, you've all been really supportive of the channel, so it's the least I can do in trying to throw some people back at Kev and help him out as well, because he's a really cool guy and he's a brummie, and we love our brummies.
With their speed boots.
Yeah. Yeah. ClickTech Kev says, I'm not sure about the PSU at the top. The thing is, the PSU at the top, like, I'm not saying this right or wrong, but PC design from the very early days was always the power supply at the top, and generally had a fan, so it took warm air from the top of the chassis and took it out the back, which isn't great for the power supply, as we know, because the 80 plus rating is based on temperatures of the PSU at certain loads. So obviously, if you are going to have a power supply having heat in it, you're increasing what it can do and its thermal abilities. Hey, we got a super chat. Kath, killed like, hey Google, turn off the studio lights.
Oh no, not when I'm doing it.
I nearly beat her to it.
Sorry, something went wrong and I'm unable to control your home device.
That's because I'm better than you, Google.
Yeah, that's because Google is useless. Oh, this live stream data is way behind. Thank you, Skystalker, for your generous donation. Oh, it's not a donation, it's Elsa money. It's bribe money to make me dress up and look like a fool.
Dad's got to dress up as Elsa, George.
Oh, that's not a good thing, is it?
Is that good?
Nah.
Would you do that for money?
No.
George says he's not going to dress up as Elsa.
Spider-Man?
Nah.
ClickTech UK says, bring out the GIMP. The GIMP's sleeping.
Oh, is that flame?
Oh, my pop-out chat's gone. I don't want top chat, I want all chat. Why does Google or YouTube think it knows best? Always. The British Noob is saying, Christmas stream with Mike as Elsa. Oh, dear. Edward Cuss says, thank you for setting my Google off. Sorry, Ed. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Alexa says the PSU on the top is good when you're doing an open loop cooling system because there's virtually no chance of you getting water inside the power supply. Generally, if you're doing an open loop system, there's a tendency for the system to not have a basement because you need the extra room for your 360 rads, pump combos, all that kind of stuff. So normally you'd have your power supply facing face up with the fan exposed to draw air out. So obviously if you've got any leaks, especially in the CPU area, which more times than not is going to be directly above where the power supply is, there's a seriously strong chance of you getting water inside the power supply should there be a leak. So that is actually a very, very good point.
George?
British Noob says, George, dress up and I'll pay you. What do you reckon, George?
I'm out in the kitchen.
George?
Yeah.
The noob says he'll pay you if you dress up as Elsa.
Pixbite says, PSU on top is many times better airflow inside because you install down 3 fans for the card. I think I kind of get that. Captain Meets Adventures says, Mike, tell Lewis to go to bed. Okay, let's do this. Right, Lewis, watch the words that come out of my mouth right now. It's late, it's gone 10 o'clock, and you should seriously be in bed by now because you got to keep your brain fresh and your mind fresh and not drink alcohol and go to bed early and stop waking up Peanut. So get to bed. Okay? There, done. Things I do.
Elsa.
Yeah, I should have done that dressed as Elsa.
Where are we going to get...
Go to bed, go to bed.
Where are we going to get dressed to fit you?
I don't know. Boot to Ear, and thank you for your £10 super chat. Let it go, let it go. Lewis can't understand him, says the British Noob. Richard says, Mike, sherry port or eggnog advocate at Xmas? I got to be honest with you, at Christmas, I am very much a lightweight. So chances are it's going to be probably Coors Light with a shot of probably spiced rum in it, which is actually very nice. And yeah, do you know what? I haven't had sherry or port for absolutely donkeys. I think the last time I had sherry was when an old friend of mine, Andrew Lander, which if for some bizarre reason you end up watching this, Andrew Lander, I do apologise in advance. But we were all kids, like 15, 16 years old, and we'd go out, we'd try and get someone to buy us alcohol, we'd end up with like a 4-pack of bitter that we'd stolen from home or something like that. And for some reason, he would turn up with a bottle of Bowls brandy or Coburn port. Now, like, we're 15, 16 years old. We don't be drinking that. We're like, we should be drinking Blackthorn or cider or some cheap ass stuff from Lidl or whatever. Well, no, Lidl wasn't about then, but you know what I mean. Some cheap stuff. And he would turn up with Coburn's port. What the hell is all that about? Very strange. Oh, Alexa says it's only 5 PM here. Edward Cuss says, I will lend George my Power Rangers cosplay costume. I feel kind of sick inside thinking of my boy dressed up as a Power Ranger, because he hasn't done that since he was... Actually, Kath, what did George dress up as when he was younger? Was it Hulk?
Yeah, he had Hulk. And the punching gloves thing that made noises when you punch people.
Oh yeah, Hulk gloves.
They're like padded.
Padded gloves that made the noises. They were pretty cool. Oh yeah, talking about what was coming up this week on videos. So there's the update video of Glenn's PC, which we'll be doing.
I didn't turn the lights off.
I know, bad.
I didn't even see.
Oh, excuse me, that's gassy, that is. Yeah, coming up this week, so we've got another update on Glenn's PC. Now, we've actually been really lucky. One of our friends who works with Sahara Gaming, which in the past have sent us some cases, other bits and pieces. And Sahara actually do make some pretty nice stuff. But they've also sent us, Kev will know where I'm going with this, they've sent us a rainbow cooler, which actually, have I got here somewhere that I can show you? Yes, I have. So they sent us these. Now these are the prototypes. Let's make that very, very clear. These are prototype coolers which are designed to work with the Sahara Gaming RGB setup. So for those of you that have already seen the videos of Sahara cases, they've got a built-in RGB controller and they've got a custom 6-pin connection. Now the fans are very, very cost effective. You're looking at like £3 or £4 each for the fans, which are addressable RGB. So you can actually make a really, really nice looking system very, very cheaply. So this is designed to add to that. So this is a cooler for Intel and AM4, AM3, even AM2 Plus CPUs, and is a 120mm downdraft cooler, which will cool up to 95 watt CPUs. But being this was a prototype, the actual controller it came with, the fan controller, which I don't think I've got there now, for some reason wouldn't always pick up on the PWM control, so it would default to its lowest state, which still was actually fine, and for 99% of people would be fine for the rest of their lives. But it wasn't completely perfect, so they're going to be redoing the model, and this is going to be released early in January. But I spoke to them and said, look, I've got this here, I've got a Sahara case which I'm doing some work on. Are you okay with me using this, making a video, going through the process and showing people what it's actually like? And they said, well, we'd prefer if you didn't, because we're doing the new model in the new year. We're going to send you, or we're going to try and do a deal so we can give some of your subscribers some as part of a giveaway to promote it. But I said, well, I've actually already made the video. I've already done it. They're like, that's fine, just make sure you say that it is a pre-production sample and it's not the final product, all that kind of stuff. Now, weirdly enough, when I actually installed it and did the video, it worked absolutely flawlessly, so which is what I wasn't actually expecting. So it did work out very, very well indeed, and it looks fantastic. So that video is going to be released, I think, on Monday. So look out for that one. And especially Glenn, if you're still watching, this is completely appropriate to you, because this is actually going to be on your PC. So you get to see firsthand what your PC was like and what I went through to build it. And you can understand now why I don't have much hair. But anyway, that's going to be coming up this week in the videos. Also, we've been lucky to have some other people over at Cherry. They've actually sent me this for review. This is the Cherry MX Board 1.0. So if you don't know who Cherry are, firstly, shame on you. But Cherry basically make the best PC switches for gaming and for keyboards, pretty much full stop. German engineering, German company. Most people who have got a gaming keyboard or a nice keyboard, you can pretty much guarantee they've got Cherry switches in there, either the MXs, probably the browns, maybe the red silence, possibly the black keys if you're wanting a slightly more stiffer key or a more kind of a harder push on the key. But anyway, that is, I've got a review coming up on this. Spoiler alert, as expected, it is fantastic. It really is. Cherry made everything about it, just screams Cherry MX. The keyboard is absolutely beautiful. The sound, all of the keys sound exactly the same. There's no tonal differences, there's no changes in resistance and pressure across the entire keyboard. They all feel exactly the same. It is an absolute joy to work on. This actually is probably going to become my daily driver if I can find a suitable mouse to go with it. Because we're all about those combos, aren't we? We've got to have a nice keyboard and mouse, so yeah. Watch the review. This will probably be coming out actually tomorrow, I think. Is this being released tomorrow, Kath? Yeah, you just got to put the links in, haven't you? And then that's it, that's ready for tomorrow. So check out this video tomorrow. Cherry MX board 1.0. They actually, Cherry make actually a lot of keyboards, and you've probably at some point in your life you've already used one. So whether you've been to maybe a shop and you've worked on a till, those till keyboards, those point of sale keyboards, almost 100% chance that those are Cherry MX switches in there, because they're designed to last for a long time. They take the abuse and they're very good switches. If you've been to a gaming cafe or been to PC World or Best Buy, those kinds of places, if you've used a PC on display and a gaming keyboard, there's a strong chance you've used a Cherry keyboard. So this is a review that I'm actually, at first I was like, well, why bother? It's just a Cherry keyboard with Cherry MX switches. But until you actually use a genuine Cherry keyboard with the genuine Cherry switches, the whole package together, it's a different proposition. Now I've got the Rio Tori keyboard with exactly the same key switches, or allegedly the same switches, and it feels completely different. It does feel completely different. It doesn't feel the same as that keyboard at all. And even doing a blind test between the two, I can tell which one's the Cherry one and which one's the Rio Toro straight off. And they are genuine switches, because I've actually removed them and had a look at them. They are genuine Cherry switches, but for some reason, the build quality of this, the way the keys resonate, the bottoming out of them and all that kind of stuff, this just feels like a completely different level. So if you're into typing, you're into your keyboards and you like your tactile keys, totally check this out, because it is absolutely fantastic. Oh, and it is actually available in the 10 keyless version as well. So if you want a smaller version without the number pad and all that kind of stuff, you can get it. Yeah, watch the video. That's all I can say. And if you are interested, they're not expensive. You'd think that because it's Cherry branded, Cherry made, German engineering, all that kind of stuff, you'd expect it to have a premium price tag, but surprisingly it doesn't. It's actually cheaper than most of the clone keyboards, and it's actually cheaper than pretty much every single MX brand keyboard I've looked for on the market. So check it out anyway. You'll enjoy it. I did.
Especially with your Doritos.
Especially with my Doritos. Yeah, look out in the video for the Dorito dust. I was particularly happy with that one. So, ClickTech Kev says, I filed mine away. That must be the cooler. Yeah, me and Kev both got sent those. I think possibly Welsh Tony did as well. And I think somebody else did. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Brytech. I'm not sure. But anyway, there was a group of us that all got sent these out. And I think pretty much all of us had the same kind of concern to start with, that the controller wasn't quite working properly. But weirdly mine does, or did, when I did the video. So anyway, check out that video. Matthew Day says they set the colours, the switch colour standard. They certainly do, yeah. Cherry switches, again, it's really odd. You'd think that having the same switches in two keyboards, they would feel the same, but they don't. And I don't know why. It's confusing, because they are exactly the same switches. Well, these have got LEDs which are single colour, that's got LEDs which are RGB, but other than that they feel exactly the same. It's very odd. So yeah, evening Matthew Day. Andy, too big, says 10 keyless for the win. Yeah, I don't like the 10 keyless for me personally, because I do use the keypad a lot, especially when I'm doing video editing and stuff. I tend to use the keypad quite a lot. Joe says, never use Cherry switches, F. Oh dear, Joe. Matthew Day says he's never used anything much over a tenner. It's funny actually, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day saying about keyboards, and I was saying that, actually it was the British Noob, and we were saying that he wanted me to try black switches, because I've never used black switches. That was today actually. God. Oh dear, my brain. He was saying that I should try black switches because they've got quite a good resistance to them, and I actually prefer a slightly more resistive keyboard. And I kind of said that I don't really care about a keyboard. I don't mind if it's got mechanical switches. I don't really care if it's membrane. I will type on anything, as most of us will do if you haven't got the money or you're plonked in front of a computer. And when I worked as a mobile technician, obviously wherever you go, you're going to be using whatever the business or the customer or the resident or whatever, you're using whatever they've got. So whether they've got like a £3 keyboard from a bargain basement or whether they've got a £100 Logitech all-in-one system, you can be using anything. So you can't really get too kind of snobby about a keyboard. You can't turn up at a customer's house, look at their keyboard and go, oh, it's membrane, and plug in your nice USB keyboard, because you can't do that. It just looks bad. So you have to get used to using anything, and I've kind of carried on that tradition, and I do generally use anything. I go from my laptop keyboard, which is a scissor switch design, like a chiclet keyboard, to my membrane keyboard on a Cooler Master, to the Rio Toro, to the Cherry MX, and they all type essentially, and I do spend quite a lot of time with all of them, and I can use all of them, so I don't really get attached to a particular keyboard. But having said that, I did like the feel of this, and I did do some typing on it for an extended period, and I didn't find myself getting fatigued. You know what it's like when you're typing for a long time and you get to the point where you start making errors and you're missing keys, whether it's you're tired or you're bored or whatever, you lose concentration. I found, for some bizarre reason, I don't know why, whether it's subliminal because I like the keyboard, I like the brand, etc, etc, maybe subliminally or subconsciously I was paying more attention and thinking, yes, this is a great keyboard, it's not making me not letting me make mistakes. Obviously a keyboard can't do that, your subconscious can. Maybe that comes into it. I suppose a blind test would have been better, but it felt really good, it worked really well. I was really impressed. Anyway, I've talked enough about this keyboard.
Si's name is Cyanide.
Oh dear. Oh, cyanide, as in the stuff you shouldn't really drink. It's not great for you. Makes you feel very dead. Yeah. So Joe says it's about 80 quid on Amazon for the Cherry keyboard. Amazon actually on that at the moment seems to be one of the dearer ones. If you're in the UK, I think it was AWDIT or possibly CCL. They had them for about 60. Joe says when you're 14 you got a budget. Hell yeah. Keycaps. Joe's asking about the keycaps. The keycaps are double shot laser etched keycaps, and they are removable. They do actually, for that keyboard, they do offer what they call a power set, which is basically just upgraded WSD keys, WSAD, yeah, basically the gaming keys. You get a set of those and arrow keys and something else. You can upgrade it if you want to. Pixbyte says, I like blue switches. They're a little bit noisy. Matthew Day says, my Audi 999 MaxTech has lasted well. I usually wear the letters off. I used a sticker set on a previous keyboard. That's a good idea. Glenn's still there. He's still there, matey, dribbling with excitement at going colour-coded.
Colour-called.
Colour-called, sorry. Colour-coded, colour-called. It's all the same. Stephen Dickey. That's an interesting name. How you doing? Nice of you to join us. Glenn's showing off with his guitar. That's the word I was looking for. A Marlin Sidewinder. Happy days, that's very nice. CCL Computer says the Cherry board is 71. I'm not sure where it was. I actually saw it yesterday. I did do a quick search on Google and it said prices from £55 to, I think it was about £80. That was one thing I did notice actually about the Cherry keyboards, because there's a backlit and there's a non-backlit, and the backlit one was actually cheaper for some reason, which I didn't quite understand. Very odd. I'll have to look into that when I do the links for a video, see where the cheapest is currently. Alexa says, when you're 31, you also have the budget, but you learn to ignore it. Very true. Right, what else have we got coming up in the next week, Kath? You remember? Oh, these. This is going to be one that most of you are probably going to hate because it's not tech related, but I'm going to be replacing the struts on my tailgate on my BMW E91 because the tailgate is useless. The other day, like in the UK, it rains, okay? It rains a lot, like most of the time. So I went to PC World to pick up a vacuum, as you do. So I have my Dyson. The Dysons come in big boxes, okay? So I had 2 Dysons, carrying them out to the car. I press the button on the back of the car to make the boot open, as it does, like automatically, or it pops open, then the gas struts push it open. At this time, it's absolutely pissing down. It's raining cats and dogs. And I've got these 2 boxes, which I'm supposed to be unboxing. So the last thing I want to do is put them on the floor so I can open the boot. So I've had enough of that, so I've bought myself some new struts. So we're going to do a DIY how to install gas struts on your BMW E91 tailgate. So any tips from Glenn on that one? Because Glenn's the car guy. And actually, I don't think anybody else on YouTube has done a guide on how to do that on E91. E90, E92, no problems at all. But the E91, no one's done it. Stephen Dickey says, are you into drones, Mike? No. Kind of. No. Maybe. I've bought one. I've used one. I didn't particularly like it. It was rubbish. It's still in the background up on the wall, which you can't see on the camera. It used to be on top of the PC, but it's actually on the wall now, getting absolutely zero use. The one I bought was cheap, very cheap. It was particularly prone for flying away in strongish winds, and it didn't have the GPS stabilizer. So you had to be like a proper expert to fly it and to keep it steady and to keep it even level was really, really hard work. So I think it was probably a bad learning curve. If I'd have bought one which had the GPS control or the self-leveling and all that kind of stuff, I think I would enjoy them a lot more. Edward Cuss says, don't drop the tailgate on your head. See, that's one thing actually that I was thinking of. I need to find an interesting way in the video of making the tailgate stay up, because it's quite a heavy tailgate on a E91, because you've got separate glass and the metal structure. So it's kind of got one of those pop open windows on the back, so you can put luggage in that way. What's that?
Lady shopping window.
Yeah, lady shopping window essentially is what they've kind of marketed it as. So I need to work out a way of keeping the tailgate up. But so I was thinking a piece of wood, but the trouble is with doing the struts, you have to kind of lift the tailgate up a little bit and to get it into the right position to actually hook it on. So I need something which will support it, but is also flexible, like a big spring. I'll have to think of something. Ed's saying a 4x2 batten. That is the kind of thing. Sky Stalker says he's got a bell. See you all soon. A letter and a big silly British noob. You all rock. You rock also, Mr. Stalker. God bless you, and I'll catch you later. Don't forget, look out for my email. I have sent you an email. A letter says the weather in England and Ohio sounds the same. It's raining now and 3 degrees. Currently here at the moment it is 9 degrees, but that's because it's raining. Normally it's a little bit warmer when it rains in the UK, but it has been pretty cold recently. Cyanide says bungee. Now that is one thing I was thinking actually, because the car has got roof rails, like the fixed roof rails. So I was thinking if I get a bungee and attach it around the windscreen wiper arm, that would give it enough flex possibly. But then it'll be just my luck, I'll be filming the video and it'll just snap him and smash my head on camera. Edward Cuss says, do you have a garage? No. Glenn says, what about a mate to give you a hand? I might have to get Kath to do it, but she... Yeah, Kath said she'd give me a hand, but I think I better wait till we finish filming before we do that. Otherwise the YouTube Copa people would be very upset. Oh yeah, Ed's saying if you have a garage then reverse it into it and then support the tailgate with a couple of bungees, one from the rafters.
He'd probably let you borrow his
Yeah. I am considering building a garage for two reasons. One, to put the car in, to do car videos more so, and also for storing all these bloody case boxes. And in fact, actually, I just thought there is a new case coming as well from the people over at Sahara. Sahara have got a new case, which I don't think I'm supposed to mention, so I better backtrack pretty quickly on that one. But now that I've said it anyway, well, that's what these streams are all about. You guys get to hear about what's going on outside of the videos anyway. So yeah, Sahara have got a new range of cases coming out, and there's one coming out which is particularly nice, quite a high-end case. Comes complete with RGB stuff already, and it's actually a new thing for them where it's a nice mesh front, but also it's got some brushed aluminium on it as well, which is kind of exciting to see. So they're going to be sending that out to me very shortly, so stay tuned for that. That is going to be a nice looking case. Booty here says, hire a small child and strap him to the roof rack. The trouble is, if I hire a small child and strap him to the roof rack, I can't do it on YouTube because the new COPA rules mean that I cannot have a child in the video, and also when I make the video I have to put a tick box saying, is this video for content for children or does it contain children? In which case you get basically demonetized and all that kind of stuff. Which is a weird thing actually, this whole COPA stuff is really changing. I did a test today actually, which I'm going to be doing another video on for YouTube creators to find out if any of your videos are deemed as being for children or marked as being for children by YouTube. Because you can't always tell. If you've got like a back catalogue of videos, maybe a couple of hundred videos, it's virtually impossible to go through them one by one to see if YouTube actually think they are child-friendly content, which for most creators you don't actually want because it's really bad for revenue. So I've, sorry, I just looked at that. If you want to find out if your videos have potentially child-friendly content in them, I'll be showing you a way of working out how that is done and how to avoid it in an upcoming video, which may be useful to some of you, probably not. Yeah, so we can't be doing that. We're not going to be strapping children to the bungees or to the rafters. Thing is, I'm tempted to ask our kids to do it, George or Angel, because they're over 18, both of them, so it would be okay. But they've got the attention span of a kind of a gnat, and if I've got one of them holding up the tailgate, and they're probably going to be using the other hand on their phone, just like, and what they're like, goldfish like, next thing you know, they'll be like, oh, selfie time, and the tailgate comes down and smashes me and knocks me out. It's not a good idea. We'll see. We will see. Oh yeah, I haven't even actually talked about the main thing, have I, on the video? Have I been pwned? Christ, hour and a half in and I still haven't discussed the main topic. I must be Linus Tech Tips. I had an email just before I went live, and that's actually why I changed the subject and then forgot about the subject. There's been another massive data breach by one of these big online companies which actually accumulates data. So the company, I can't remember off the top of my head actually, I got it on the other screen, which actually I'll quickly check out. So it is a company called, oh no, where is it? Home. Latest breaches. There we go. So data enrichment exposure from PDL Exposure. Now PDL Exposure basically are a data mining company. So if you've ever signed up for a service anywhere and you've ticked the box where it says I'm okay with you sharing my details with third parties, these are the people that have got your information. So they have got currently the names, addresses, your geographic data, your shopping preferences. They don't have passwords as far as we can tell at the moment, but they've basically got a lot of data. They've also got your LinkedIn information, your job history, so where you work and all that kind of stuff. So it would appear from what I can tell that it's LinkedIn have been hacked again, and possibly a couple of other companies which PDL are actually kind of a sub company of, and they look after the data of, but essentially they've been breached, and they were holding 1.2 billion records of personal data. And essentially, yeah, they've been exposed, and apparently that contained 622 million unique email addresses. So the 1.2 billion pieces of information, obviously some of that is doubled up because they're registered on double sites or various sites. So yeah, it's all a bit weird. What's that, Kath?
Just trying to move you up a bit on that.
Oh, right. Something went wrong then, but it didn't. So yeah, I would suggest, if you haven't already, go to haveibeenpwned.com, which actually I'll show you now. I'll switch over to the other camera and I'll show you what to do. So it's actually worth doing because you never know. And if you have been pwned, seriously think about changing your passwords and user accounts and all that kind of stuff, just in case. You probably will find that in the next days or so, or the coming days, especially around up to Christmas, your spam boxes may be fuller than usual. Now hopefully, depending on whose email address you're using, email address accounts you're using, some of them have got really good spam filters, but some of them will definitely get through, and some of them will definitely look like they've got information about you which certain companies would have had. So it may look like a genuine email from LinkedIn or whoever it may be. So for the foreseeable, if you get anything come through from some of the bigger companies, again, you can go to haveibeenpwned.com, check out the information, get the full SP on it there. But if you get emails in your email address box and it's asking for some kind of login from the email, strongly suggest not doing it for now. If need be, go to the website of the email that's come in, log in that way, do it that way, all well and good. Don't log into anything from an email, just for the foreseeable, just to protect yourself. So let's go over to the screen. Which one is it? It's the desktop, isn't it? So here we go on a desktop. So this is haveibeenpwned.com. So you can use that address, and obviously there is Have I Been Pwned. So what you can do is you can check to see if you have an email account that's been compromised in a data breach. So all you need to do is type in your email address. So I'm going to type in Mike at mikesunboxing.com and see what happens. I haven't checked this one yet, so it'd be interesting to see. And all you do is click on pwned. And there we go, good news, no pwnage found. So no breached accounts, no pastes. And I can actually subscribe to that to find out. So if it ever does get done, then I can try it.
Mine's been pwned, do you want to do it?
So let's try Kath's one. What's that, your...
Okay,
So try Kath's one. So K Churchill at Blue Yonder. Feel free to send her birthday wishes. It isn't her birthday, but you still send it, doesn't matter. So kchurchill@blueyonder.co.uk and has been pwned. Pwned. So pwned on 4 breach sites.
Which last year when you made the video?
Yeah, so last year it hadn't been. So currently, as we see, so that was in the data enrichment exposure from PDL customer. So that was October 2019. So that's the one that's just happened. Again, you can find out information about that. So compromised data, here we go. So email addresses, employers, geographic locations, job titles, names, phone numbers. So that is quite an important one for those phone scamming bastards. And social media profiles could be potentially hacked. Also MyFitnessPal, which is part of the fitness marketplace. That was email addresses, IP addresses, passwords, and usernames. That was a pretty bad one. Online spam bot, that was back in 2017. Verification.io, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, definitely we've gone through and changed Kath's usernames, IDs, passwords, all that kind of stuff. We've gone through that pain. And I certainly suggest that you also do. And there we go. And we're back in the room. So, have you tried it? I should even just open another browser now while you're at it and type your addresses in. Let's see which one of you have been done. Okay, so that's done. Right, I think that pretty much wraps up everything for tonight. I am absolutely shattered, and I've still got more beer to drink. Actually, I've got quite a lot more. So, coming up, like I said, coming up in the week, there's going to be plenty more videos. We've got a couple more builds to do as well, which we'll be trying to do before the season is out. Actually, also, I'm going to do the update on the XPG Invader case. Is it XPG Invader?
I think it is.
Yeah, XPG Invader from A-Data. We did a build in that. I did the unboxing on it ages ago, and I've done a build and I didn't actually video most of it, so I'm going to go through that and go through what my thoughts are. It's actually turned out to be a really nice case, and I don't think I actually gave it the attention and the kudos that it actually deserved at the time. So I was a little bit kind of like, okay, so there's another case from another company. But after doing the build in it, it's actually worked out really nicely. So we will be revisiting that at some point in the week. We're still going to be working on the giveaways, so don't forget to subscribe and all that kind of stuff. I think we'll probably have to reschedule the giveaways. I'll speak to PCCDkeys.com. No, PremiumCDKeys.com. My bad. Just to verify that the keys are legit and that everything is above board, and we can carry on doing that. And I'll validate the other keys we've got already. But, oh, here we go. Captain Meets Avenger says, I have been done. Should I change my password? I would look into the actual the pwnage in more detail to see what sites is likely that has come from. Obviously, we only touched on it very briefly in that little bit there. So I would go to the site, read up on that. The people that actually did the research on it, I think it was Vinny and some other guy, they've spent a lot of time researching it. Read what they say and see what their suggestions are. Now, we don't really know what sites have been affected. I personally don't at the moment, so I'm going to need to look into that myself. But if the
Video on that in the week.
yeah, maybe we'll do a video on that later on in the week. But certainly, if you've got any cause for concern, definitely change your passwords. Better safe than sorry. Although it's a real pain in the butt to go to various different sites that you've used previously, I would suggest change your email site and your banking sites and possibly your social media sites. Anything else probably isn't going to cause you too much grief. The main ones that are going to be a problem is your email, because obviously someone could sign into your email accounts, pretend to be you, and then gain other services via your email address, which is never a good thing. And also they could use your email address to verify other accounts they're setting up. So your email account is the one I would certainly change first if you've got any cause for concern, definitely. But that is it. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much to all of you that have joined us this evening. We've got Cyanide, Aletta, Boutier, and Glenn. Kath, obviously, Bits and Coins, Aletta, Captain Meets Adventures. Who else have we got? I'm going to have to go to participants. It never shows all the names on there. But yeah, Bertien, British Noob, ClickTech Kev, etc, etc. Glenn, obviously. The other Glenn. Too many Glens. I'm going to have to separate you somehow. But anyway, thanks to all of you for watching. And as always, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams, and don't you have nightmares.